Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I'm here to review the series finale of Bojack Horseman. Now, Bojack Horseman is a show that I don't think I've really reviewed on here, but it's a Netflix show. It's, I don't want to say, it's not, I don't know, I wouldn't say early Netflix, but this is its 6th season, so this is 6th season, and you gotta think, they usually pump these things out, every other year with Netflix, so the Bojack Horseman has been around for quite a bit. Bojack Horseman was on Netflix back when I originally got Netflix in like 2014. So Bojack Horseman is one of Netflix's earlier hits. It's probably Netflix's best animated thing they put out. It was one of the things that got a lot of attraction. It got, I think it's had Emmy nominations. It's a big, sorry, wrong pipe. It's a big show. It's a big show. It's not so big that I heard a lot of people talking about it. It's not like Stranger Things big or Mandalorian big or, or something along those lines. But to me, Bojack Horseman has always been a fantastic show. I've always loved, I'm going to get into season 6, but I'm just going to talk a little bit about the show as a whole since this is the series finale. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way. The series finale to me, it comes with a heavy heart because I know why the show is ending. The show's not technically ending on its own terms. Now, technically, Bojack Horseman got canceled, but they got canceled early enough in the but the writers and whatnot were told early enough in the process to where they could go and break to where they could write their scripts and wrap up everything and end it like they want to end it. But this is not what the writers did not want to end in season 6. They were canceled because Netflix does not want to pay the animators. They've been vastly underpaying the animators working on that show for apparently many years. And with all these kind of things going on with creatives going on strike and creatives trying to get more pay for their for their time, more pay for what they're doing, Netflix just decided to cut ties with the show, to cut the show. And this is a true thing, man. You can look it up. Bojack Horseman, the writers and the guy who created it and the people who created it really talked about like we planned on going at least a couple more seasons, which tells me they were planning on going to like at least a season 8 at the very most. But they had to wrap it up because, like I said, Netflix didn't want to pay the animators. I just wanted to get that out there because a lot of people are gonna talk about the series finale as if it was planned, because it's one of the best series finales I've seen. At least seasons, like series finale seasons, because they wrap up so many things that happen throughout the course of the series as a whole, and they wrap up so many plots, and they tie so much things in, and characters come back that you haven't seen in a very long time, and things come up that you haven't thought about in a while, and characters are changing, and you're finally starting to see characters get to the points that they've been trying to get to through the course of the entire show. Now, granted, like I said, it does make it a little bit bitter knowing that this wasn't supposed, that there was more to be seen, is what I'm saying. There was more to this story. There was more episodes that were supposed to be done. There was more character arcs and things that were supposed to happen to get certain characters certain places that they had to just come up with the way to get them here now because we're canceled, because they don't want to pay the fucking animators. So I wanted to get out of the way before I start on Bojack Horseman season 6, the series finale, the series last season. And I gotta say, it was fantastic. It was great. I loved this season of Bojack Horseman. I don't know if it's the best season of Bojack Horseman. There's some really great seasons of Bojack Horseman. They're all up there. And I would have to rewatch the entire thing to really give you a good indicator of what season is the best season, but it was a damn great season. I've seen some bad series have really weird season finales. I thought that the Preacher series, whole series last season was a bit muddled and a bit jarring and a bit really fast-paced, as if they didn't have enough time to do everything. I thought the same thing with Legion. I loved Legion season 1 and 2. Season 3 was still good, but it did feel like they were supposed to be given more time and they had to do this now. But this, I didn't feel it. Granted, I know what it is, but I didn't feel it. which makes me think they definitely got enough time to get, you know, to work around, like, okay, well, we planned on doing a couple more seasons, but this is what we're going to have to do because they're not going to give it to us. They had enough time to sit back and go, okay, how can we wrap this up from where we are? We know what we wanted to do. How can we wrap this up now? And they did it. All the characters. This is a fun show because if you watch season 1 and you watch the last season, they're almost in different spots. Now, not all of them they're not like totally different people, but they're in different places of maturity and mindset. Like, it's well done. I don't want to spoil anything, but the first half, because Netflix broke this up into 2 halves this year, which is shocking, but they broke this up into 2 halves, I guess to play up how, you know, this is a really good, great finale. Personally, I would have just rather had it all at once. That's what you do, but you know what? All right, you know, linger it out. Try to be Disney Plus. The first half really focuses on Bojack going to rehab. Now, season 5 ended with Bojack going to rehab. You know, Filbert, shit happened with Filbert. You know, stuff happened. But Bojack went to rehab, you know, to get better. And every character is in different places. Mr. Peanut Butter proposed to his wife Pickles after cheating on her because he was nervous. You know, got Todd still being Todd, but finding another asexual woman who might like him for him. You got Princess Carolyn finally, you know, embracing being a mom, you know, and being okay with the fact that she couldn't have a child of her own and being okay with adopting a child and, you know, trying to figure out how to work that lifestyle. I mean, and being okay with adopting, you know, finally adopting a child. And, you know, you got, I guess, what was, yeah, never mind. That's pretty much everybody. I was about to say something else, but no, I don't think that's, you know, it's not really worth getting to. But, and then season 3 starts, and Bojack's in rehab. And it kind of is like a montage bit. Like, I can't remember if it's episode 1 or 2 of this season, but it might be episode 1 where you actually, 2 or 1, where you, no, I think it is episode 1 where you don't see Bojack. You don't see Bojack, but you see them talking about Bojack. Todd's off doing something that Todd's doing. Princess Carolyn's got a business going. She's trying to work, you know, she's having a hard time with this lifestyle, and she's having a rough time with this lifestyle. And then you got Diane. Diane's off, you know, she's writing for Girl Crush, which is like this dumb metaphorical joke about some of those dumb sites like College Humor. It's kind of one of those sites. She's writing for Girl Crush, and they want her to write like these, and she's having a hard time with her depression, and Diane's whole thing is with her depression. I mean, the whole show is about depression, but that's Diane's thing, and that's kind of the first half. And eventually does get to Bojack, and Bojack's getting better. Bojack's, you know, overcoming a lot. He's sober now. He's finally gotten in a place where he's sober now. And, and that's all I can really say without spoiling too much. Now, by the time the second half gets around, some great things go down. Now, some very interesting things go down. Some of Bojack's past comes back to haunt him. Things that he's done in past seasons come back to haunt him. Even though he's now in a better place, Mr. Pickles, Mr. Peanut Butter and Pickles are in a difficult place because their marriage is in a difficult place once again. That ends in a very unexpected way. But the thing is, I don't want to spoil anything this season because I want you guys to go see it. The thing is, BoJack Horseman to me is one of the greatest shows I've ever seen because because Pixar has been doing this for years. There's this thing that I like to think about, and I was watching Zootopia the other day, and it made me realize Zootopia is kind of about, you know, discrimination and, you know, racism and, you know, dealing in like you know, things of that nature, you know, racial profiling. But they do it in a way where, since it's animated, you don't take it that seriously, so you feel comfortable, so you don't feel like anyone's preaching anything to you because it's animated, so you're like, okay, well, it can't be. And BoJack Horseman takes that and takes it to another level. It's the idea that BoJack Horseman tricks you into thinking that it's this dumb, like, almost Futurama, maybe Family Guy, you know, kind of thing. And, like, there's nothing wrong if you like those shows. But BoJack Horseman kind of tricks you into thinking that it is like those shows, but then when you're laughing, it hits you with this realism that's just hits you like a sledgehammer, man. They touch real topics, like real topics. They were talking about the Me Too thing. They were talking about male feminism. They were talking about what makes you, like, are all people who sign up for the military automatically heroes? They were talking about so many things, you know, like Hollywood and how fucked up Hollywood is and all the different things in Hollywood and how people are willing and how people have short memories and how people are willing to forgive you for if you just do this. And they touch so many dark and like just sad things about how, you know, being raised in an abusive household, how you can easily be how you can be peer pressured even as an adult. There is just so many things that this show touches, but they don't beat you over the head with it. They don't glorify it. And man, even in the end, the last episode, I saw it last night, the last episode, it's still not glorified. And the show really leaves you with this thought, you know, with many thoughts. There's many things. I'm going to miss a bunch of themes in this show because there are just so many of them. I cannot remember them all. But one of the big takeaways I took from the entire series is that life is complicated. And that's kind of what the show's about. Life is complicated. There aren't really any good or bad people. There's just people. Nothing's perfect. And no matter what happens in your life, you can choose. It's all up to you. You could grow up in the worst household possible. And you can use that as an excuse for your behavior. You can use that as an excuse. Oh, you can look for excuses to do things. You can look for reasons behind things. And sometimes there is no reason behind things. Sometimes it's just you. And at the end of the day, and like that's kind of one of the themes of the show is like sometimes it's just you. You have to be willing. You have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to be okay with yourself. And if you're making decisions that make you not like yourself or make you question if you're okay with yourself, then maybe you're not making the right decision. And making the right decision can be hard sometimes, but sometimes you gotta you gotta do it. And this show touches so many topics along those lines, especially about depression and how it can get to you and how it can weigh on you and how you try to get over it. And like I said, Bojack Horseman does so like anybody who thinks like the crazy part is this animated show does a so much better job of depicting depression, of depicting people dealing with depression in a realistic way. And it's an animated show where half of them are animals. Does so much better of a job than 13 Reasons Why. It is ridiculous. Like, I'm like, this show deserves so much more adoration than it is getting. Bojack Horseman is one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's up there in my top 5. I think it has many messages. It's hilarious because they disengage you with humor. Because they disengage you with this cartoonish humor to make you go, oh, well, that's not that serious. And then boom, hit you with something deep. Ooh, whoa, I did not want to think about that. Like, I mean, minor spoilers, man. The episode before the series finale, last episode, was just dark. Like, literally, there's a part where they talk about a man falling to his death and, like, kind of thinking to himself. And, like, you kind of get a glimpse of what he was thinking. And he was like, I wish I would have thought about, I wish I didn't regret it until I was halfway down and it was too late. And that's just some dark, deep shit right there. This is an animated thing. That's some deep, dark shit right there. And, like, you have control of your life. You have control of your life. No one takes it from you. You should never give anyone power over your life. You should never let anyone dictate your life. You shouldn't let your trauma dictate your life. You shouldn't let because you got control. And as long as you, because that's the ultimate messaging to me, is you have control of your life. It's your responsibility. Everything's on you. There's no one you can blame. It doesn't matter where you came from. It doesn't matter what happened to you. It doesn't matter who owes. No one owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything. It's all up to you. And it's a lesson that Bojack was learning. It's a lesson that many of the characters had to learn. And it's a lesson that other characters learned sooner than Bojack. But by the end of this season, he learned it. So that is my thoughts on Bojack Horseman Season 6. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Bojack Horseman, one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like I have said, I love it. It makes me laugh and sad all at the same time. It gets me thinking. I enjoy Bojack Horseman. Thank you guys for joining me at Comic Game Movie Show. Please remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.